Alright, so to be clear, if you have friends that could not be here today, we are videoing this. We will post it on my scheduling website, as well as on the North Atlanta Facebook page. So if you are not following the North Atlanta Facebook page yet, I strongly recommend that you do so. Right. So, show of hands. How many of you here, this will be your first child coming into high school? Raise your hand. Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Yeah, right. So, here's what I'm going to tell you all. All right? Parents, it will be okay. Your kids will be perfect. They will be fine. I promise you. I'm here, parents, to help you with this transition. The kids have no problems. They transition great. North Atlanta, every kid comes here. They find their way here. They find their group of friends, and they do great here. It's the parents that sometimes need a little help. Well, I want you to rest assured, the administrative team, all of our teachers, all of our parents here, the kids, they're here to help you. So before we begin, I want to go ahead and introduce the most pivotal member of our administrative team, Mr. Curtis Douglas, our principal.
Thank you, Ms. Coleman. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to North Atlanta this afternoon. We thank you for coming out on this, well, turning out to be a lovely Sunday afternoon despite the weather. At least it's not snowing, right? It's ice, it won't freeze over. So we welcome you today and thank you for coming out. As Ms. Coleman said, we're here to introduce North Atlanta to our parents, those who are familiar, those who are not so familiar with North Atlanta, and just show you what we have to offer. We believe in developing the whole child. Obviously, our primary focus is academics. It should be in the school, from elementary to high school, but in high school, any school for that matter, it's not enough. We're here to develop the whole child. If anybody who's finished high school just takes 10 seconds to think about their most memorable experience in high school, whether good or bad, if you take about 15 seconds to think about it, it probably won't be what happened in algebra class or your language arts class if you really tend to think about it. It's not because the academics wasn't the most important part of what you did in high school, but there's so much more to it. And so that's why we're here to develop the whole child. I want to thank, before I forget, our wonderful PTSA. I'd like to thank our staff and students and staff who did such a great job of coming out and doing up this Sunday, and Ms. Coleman as well. So please give them a round of applause. And I really mean that because without them, it could not be done. So once again, I just reiterate, we're here for the whole child. If you have any questions, please type. Please type the questions and we'll go to this on the scheduling website. We're also here to help you in any capacity beyond today, and any questions you may have before you come to North Atlanta High School. And we look forward to seeing everybody coming out next year, or even prior to that, for any function that we have. I always tell people, I'm probably not the best person to tell somebody about North Atlanta because I'm going to be very biased. I'm going to tell you how great it is, not because I get paid to work here, but also because I love it. And I love our family that we have here. But listen to our students. Listen to the students and the parents in our community. Because they're the ones who live it every day. I do too, but they do it in a different way. So don't ask me, please ask our students and our parents in the community. And on that note, I'm going to pass the microphone to Ms. Bonner. And I would say you're in for a wonderful treat when you hear from our students. Thank you, everyone.
I'm so proud to be a warrior. I'm one of the new administrators here at North Atlanta High School, and I started off in the classroom and kind of moved up, and I'm so excited to be here, so excited to get your kids. I am the attendance tardy Nazi. Your kids will come home and tell them about this woman like, where are you going? Where are you in your class? I'm also over a very special department, which is our special ed department. I wanted to, if we have any parents here that have students that receive special education services, I also could answer questions about 504, but I wanted to introduce myself. Dr. Warman-Jordan, if you could just stand up and wave your hand. For any parents that have any questions after this, you may be here, I may be here. But if you have any questions, we want all our students to be successful here at North Atlanta, and we go out of our way to make sure that we do as such. All I ask is that when they walk here, give us an opportunity to work with you, to work with them. So again, welcome to North Atlanta High School.
All right, so I've got some students I want to go ahead and give them the opportunity to talk to you about their experience here at North Atlanta, and then I want to give them the chance to go ahead and lead. Seniors? Yeah. Viviana? All right, cool. So I've got a selection of seniors here. They are going to kind of share with you their experience here in North Atlanta. Obviously, the two on the end are in our JROTC program, but they've done a lot more than that. So they're going to just talk with you briefly about their experience here in North Atlanta, classes that they've taken, and college plans.
Good afternoon. My name is Brooke Wolf, and I'm a senior here in North Atlanta. I'm also dual enrolled. My experience here has been really, really diverse and really great. You know, you get to see a lot of different cultures, a lot of different personalities, and you get to meet people you never thought you'd be friends with. And I think that's really great about what North Atlanta has to offer. Also, the academics here are great, and what made me want to do dual enrollment is I'm a very independent person, and I drive, and and I love that dual enrollment gives me the opportunity to see what college is going to be like, and I get to be ahead of the class a little bit. So I've been doing dual enrollment for 2 years now. So when I graduate from high school, I'll go in as a senior. Yeah, so I'll have 2 years out of the way. So when I go into college, I will be ahead of a lot of people, and I really enjoy it. The classes are very hard, but if you're focused and you're a very motivated student, then it won't be difficult for you at all. Oh, I'm dual enrolled at Georgia Military College. It's about 25 minutes from here. So not every school, or not every college, they have like a different structure. So some schools you have to take your SAT and your ACT to get in. Some schools you have to take an application test, which basically kind of shows where you are, and it places you where they feel like it's the best fit for you. So that's what happened to me. I kind of got to the application test and they told me, okay, when I got this score, so I could take this amount of classes and things like that. So I thought that was really cool too. So I wasn't limited because I didn't have the right SAT score, the ACT score. I still got an opportunity to have full credit. So it was really cool for me, and I enjoy it, and it's great. Also, my future plans after I attend Wake Forest University, I'm still waiting to hear back, but really excited. It's my top school. I've applied to about 10 different schools all over the U.S. I don't want to be in Georgia. But I want to be far away, and I'm really excited. I want to major in finance, and I want to be a financial planner.
Hi, my name is Cassie Stitt, and I'm dual enrolled as well. So my 11th grade year, I doubled up on some of my courses. So I took 2 science courses. I was always in fast track maths and such. And since I only had 1 credit to finish my senior year, I decided to look into dual enrollment because I did not want to take AP Calculus. So I basically just applied to Georgia State, and your counselor that helps you with the whole process. So I had Jim Wright at the time, and he helped me with the entire process of like filling out the applications, and you have to go to Georgia Futures and like submit other information as far as funding goes. And once you're admitted to Georgia State or any other college, you're eligible to go there. So once you graduate high school, it could be your fallback plan. So for me, if I were to stay in Georgia, I would just go to Georgia State because I'm already accepted. I would just have to re-enroll. And your teachers and your professors at Georgia State, they don't know you're in high school, so you get the real college experience. So for me, it's giving me an outlook on like what college will actually be like and how to take good notes that are going to be like not just like high school, like good notes that you're actually gonna like want to study for because they're real exams. And if you do fail, you'll get kicked out of the dual enrollment program. And I got accepted, so I'm a posse scholar. And so in 9th grade, you can be nominated for this. Some organizations, so like I was in Breaking Atlanta in middle school, and they nominated me as well, but your counselor nominates you in the way they help.
Sitting next to you, parents. Yeah, college, remember that? So, We recommend that kids wait until 11th and 12th grade to do dual enrollment. You can see these are some of the universities that we have partnerships with, but not all. Because, for example, Brooke is at Georgia Military College. Even though she's not going into the military, she's still taking her classes there and able to do so. We also have a program with the Atlanta Technical College called the Atlanta College and Career Academy. And this provides students, again, it's kind of a dual enrollment program. And this actually does start as early as 10th grade, where students take a test called the AccuPlacer. And they come here in the morning and take their core classes here. And then they take a bus, and then they go and take their college classes over there. But it gives them an opportunity to take elective classes that we don't offer here. For example, we've got the avionics. Well, we certainly don't have airplane repair here, right? We have a lot here. We don't have airplane repair. So they can go there and take those classes and complete those career pathways. Let's talk about enrollment and registration. We have a slightly different change, and this is important for my returning parents to be aware of. So, everyone who's coming from Sutton, this past, we're going to announce the dates that will occur. In the past, you did that proof of residency back in Sutton. You're going to do it here now. So you'll have to come to North Atlanta with your residency documents, and I think actually, now that I'm remembering what the discussion was, that we actually will, and don't quote me on this, y'all, but I think we're going to, when you come to register your child and prove your residency, that's when we're going to get your child scheduled. So it'll be in the summertime. And we'll put out a lot of documentation about what is needed to prove your residency. Dates will be announced in those Warrior Weekly emails, Twitter. If you don't follow my Twitter, please do so at NAHS9TH. The North Atlanta website, and I will do a robocall to the Sutton 8th grade families based on the phone number that you have in the computer, so if that's not accurate, please get that updated. All right, so people who are not coming from Sutton, can I just see a show of hands if you are not currently at Sutton, you're coming from either private school, charter? Okay, fantastic. So, for you, a couple of things to know. There will be an enrollment period that will be held in the summertime. I don't have those dates yet. But we typically have a centralized enrollment at E. Rivers Elementary School over off Peachtree and Peachtree Battle, because it is the most centrally located school in North Atlanta cluster. The dates, again, will be announced via the Warrior Weekly email, so please subscribe to that. As well, there won't be robocalls. Sorry, you can cross out the robocall. Sorry, I copied and pasted. Obviously, I was not paying attention to my bad. There will be no administrative transfers to North Atlanta for the 18-19 school year. To attend North Atlanta, you must live in our attendance zone. I'll be honest with y'all, we're bursting at the seams. We have a great school, and everybody's heard that we have a great school, and everybody wants to come here now. So please understand, and I'm so sorry if you're here thinking, oh, well, we'll do the transfer. Oh, they have the magnet program. We don't have that anymore. We're expecting an enrollment next year of about 1,950 students. Right now, we're at 1,885. So we're growing. Every year we grow. And so as a result, we will have 0 administrative transfers available. Also, please note, we will not be able to hold any spaces for students in any class until you are actually enrolled, which won't be till the summertime. So that means, and I'm going to tell you all now, the Sutton kids, they get either their first or second elective choice. I do my best to make sure that they get their first or second elective choice. That means that my art classes, my graphic design classes, my digital technology classes, and usually dance and theater get filled up first. So that by the time people who are enrolling who aren't coming from Sutton, there's a wait list for those classes. Now, I will also tell you that we do have a large turnover on the wait list, and I think this year, every single kid who was on the wait list got to get the class that they wanted. Mostly because people sign up for art and they're like, oh, I really love art. Art is fun. I get to draw and color. And then they get to North Atlanta and they're like, wait a second, there's homework? I have to journal? Like, I have writing assignments in art? This is art. And then they go in during the first 10 days, they try to drop art. And we're like, okay, that's fine, because I've got a wait list of 15 kids waiting for that spot. So we are able to do that. Plus, we also have kids who sign up for art who then, their parents are like, guess what? Dad just got transferred. We're moving to Massachusetts. So spots open up. So if you're coming not from Sutton, hang in there. It'll be okay, but parents, please understand, I cannot hold any spots for any student unless the only people, the Sutton kids get the first priority. So, yeah. All right, moving on. At North Atlanta, we are what's called a 4x8 school. So every year, your kids take 8 classes. But they don't take 8 in one day. They take 4 each day. We're on a rotating A-B schedule. So Monday, for example, is an A day. Tuesday's a B day. Wednesday's back to an A day. So every day, the kids go to 4 classes for a block of approximately an hour and a half. Of course, Monday we're starting our makeup time, so it's going to be even longer. Yay! My boss left the room, right? Okay, just making sure. So our core classes, every kid takes 9th grade literature, biology, a mathematics of some sort, which I'll talk about in a minute, social studies. Please understand, parents, for social studies, every 9th grader takes American government, which is graduation requirement for 1 semester, either first or second, and a class that's called U.S. and World Affairs. And that is a class where we have social emotional learning, but that's put into a global context. And it is an elective class, but it is a semester-long class and is paired with that American government class, either first or second semester. Whichever semester they don't have American government, they'll get U.S. and World Affairs. There is no honors level. There is no honors level at all for either class. All right, just so we're clear. All right, everyone got that? Yeah? Okay. And then a world language. We offer 4 different world languages, but really 5 different paths within world language. Arabic, Chinese, and we offer Mandarin here. French and Spanish, but we also offer Spanish for native speakers. So that's kind of an offshoot of Spanish itself. For elective classes, because they take 8 courses every year, they get a total by the time of graduation of 32 credits. Well, they only need 24 to graduate. So every year they technically get 3 elective classes. Now, I'm going to tell you now, one of those electives I'm taking up with personal fitness for 1 semester and health for 1 semester, or JROTC for the full year to satisfy a graduation requirement. That leaves 2 electives. 2 electives. So now, and of course I don't have my handouts with me, but if you look at your handouts, one of those handouts has the elective descriptions on it. There's a chart on one side, the other side is the elective descriptions. Colonel, would you do me a huge favor? Can you go get me the 3 handouts that are out there for the parents so I can reference it? Thank you so much. So with the other electives that they can choose from, they will be choosing, they meaning the Sutton kids, will be choosing this week their top 4 choices in order. Top 4 choices in order. If they choose JROTC as one of their choices, they're going to get JROTC because 3 credits of JROTC takes the place of that personal fitness and health. So they technically will automatically get that plus then 2 more electives. We have fine performing arts, CTAE, journalism, and second world language. Let me just point out that with the journalism, to do newspaper and yearbook, or yearbook rather, as freshmen, it is an application process, so they should talk to their language arts teacher at Sutton if they're interested in doing newspaper and yearbook to be able to complete that application. Second world language, that means if they want to take 2 languages, so for example, let's say that they're in Spanish now, and they want to continue in Spanish at North Atlanta, they can, and then they can also choose to start up Chinese, for example. So let's talk, first of all,
before we go into electives, if you'll turn this elective page over for me, and I think I just placed these slides in the wrong place because we'll go back to the elective description in a minute. But if you'll turn this over and look at this chart that says 9th grade course placement criteria as of 1/22/18. I want to talk to you about the math options that are available to students. It is all based on their current math class. So if they are currently in 8th grade taking Algebra 1, they could go to either geometry, geometry honors, or fast track geometry honors, algebra 2 honors. If they are currently in math 8, if they choose JROTC as one of their choices, they're going to get JROTC because 3 credits of JROTC takes the place of that personal fitness and health. So they technically will automatically get that plus then 2 more electives. We have fine performing arts, CTAE, journalism, and second world language. Let me just point out that with the journalism, to do newspaper and yearbook, or yearbook rather, as freshmen, it is an application process. So they should talk to their language arts teacher at Sutton if they're interested in doing newspaper and yearbook to be able to complete that application. Second world language, that means if they want to take 2 languages, so for example, let's say that they're in Spanish now, and they want to continue in Spanish at North Atlanta, they can, and then they can also choose to start up Chinese, for example. So let's talk, first of all, before we go into electives, if you'll turn this elective page over for me, and I think I just placed these slides in the wrong place because we'll go back to the elective description in a minute. But if you'll turn this over and look at this chart that says 9th grade course placement criteria as of 1/22/18. I want to talk to you about the math options that are available to students. It is all based on their current math class. So if they are currently in 8th grade taking Algebra 1, they could go to either geometry, geometry honors, or fast track geometry honors, algebra 2 honors. If they are currently in math 8, placement for all classes, all core classes is based on data. So I'm going to talk more about that in just a second. The other option that students who are in 8th grade math now have is just regular algebra. Please understand that there's no honors algebra in North Atlanta. No honors. Or they could get placed into fast track algebra, geometry honors. Now with the fast track, and fast track means for both that geometry, algebra 2, as well as for the algebra, geometry, fast track classes, they have to give up an elective. So first semester, right, if they're in French 3 now, they will go into French 4 in 9th grade if they choose to continue that language. Now what I want to tell you that we have done here at North Atlanta, because we have found that kids have started here and they were not prepared for the true level 3 or 4 that we have here, for whatever reason, no judgment, for whatever reason, they just weren't ready. So we have created, and we're trying it this year with our 9th grade class, level 4 Spanish or level 4 French without an honors designation. So it's not honors, it's just Spanish 4 or French 4 of just 9th graders. And it basically is kind of a remediation opportunity to help build up their knowledge to get them ready for that next level. Those that are able to go into like an AP French or an AP Spanish as process. We finalized our course offerings. If you'll look at the handout that you have, that has our timeline. It says timeline. There is an error on this handout because on March 12th, I'm gonna hold here at 6 p.m. just for you ninth grade parents, a scheduling support session. Okay? It's not on here. I apologize, I'm so sorry. But March 12th, and I'll do robocalls home for that, okay? March 12th here, 6 p.m. will be the Rising Ninth Grade Parent Scheduling Night. That is going to be just after the first course request report goes home. If you look at this handout that has the two different student, sample student 1, sample student 2, that's the course request report. At the bottom of that report, the verbiage will change. This is my draft. But that verbiage at the bottom will tell you everything that you need to know about what to do next if you see courses here that are just not right for your kid. That's when we do our change requests. Please note then, we'll do the changes, we'll send home a set I'm going to show you in just a moment. All fields are required, including email addresses. For the student, it needs to be a working email that they can access. If your child does not have a working email that they can access, they need to get one today. And I told the kids this. Parents, if you don't have an email, make sure they know your phone number so they can enter that information. I will tell you now, parents, you've got till the nighttime of February 2nd because I'm going to be at UGA all day with my daughter on Friday because we've got to go to the Admitted Students Day so that she can see if she actually wants to go to college there. So you've got until Friday night to go ahead and make those adjustments. So let me show you what the form looks like here. People here know me, Meredith Kaltman, okay? My family and friends, they don't know me as Meredith. They know me as Dee Dee. That's my secret nickname. Kids don't know this. I started kindergarten, and my maiden name is Adams, and they called out Meredith Adams, and I just sat there. I had no clue when I was 5 years old that my real name was Meredith. I just sat there and they're like, you, what's your name? I'm like, Dee Dee. So, understand, parents, it is critical that they give us here their actual given first name, not a nickname, last name, their APS username. I'm putting that there because parents, I don't want you filling this out. Okay? I'm the original helicopter mom. I know what we do. I know it, okay? Helping my daughter through the college application process, I'm like, okay, you need to write this email. She's like, what do I write? I'm like, you're 18, you gotta figure this out. I'm cutting it off, I'm cutting the cord here, all right? This is so that the kids actually complete it. They're the ones taking the classes, not you parents. Parents' name, parents' email address. If they don't have an email address, we need a phone number. At Sutton, as an 8th grader, I took Spanish and French all year. This is just for my data purposes, to be able to show where I have kids who took a language at Sutton, but then changed to a different language to kind of prove a point downtown. My boss has left the room, so I'm saying it out loud. At North Atlanta, I'd like to take as my first language. So you see Arabic, Chinese, French, Spanish, and Spanish for native speakers. If your child is in a home where they've heard Spanish but don't have a clue how to read or write Spanish, let them take Spanish for native speakers. They'll learn. It's great. Choose your first elective choice below. You'll see this whole big drop down. I want to point out Ballet 1, that's if you have dance experience and you're really interested in dance, it won't be just ballet. There'll be tap, there'll be modern, there'll be jazz. Dance is if you have no real experience but you want to give it a try. Please note, 4 different ones, and after the first one it says, do not repeat any selections. This is not where you can suicide an elective here. Okay, those of you who went through sorority rush, you know how you had to write down your top 3 choices, and if you really, really wanted Alpha Chi Omega, you put Alpha Chi Omega 3 times. We're not doing that here. Don't be like, well, I really, really want to get art, so I'm going to put art all 4 times. I'm sorry. I will make sure you do not sit in an art class your freshman year. Okay, you can cancel and get it 10th grade, but I promise you I will make that happen, okay? 4 different choices in order of preference. Now, parents, here's the key. Why they need to have an email address up at the top. A copy of your responses will be emailed to the address you provide. So once they click submit, the email will go to them showing what they entered from each of those choices, and so you can see what they chose. You can go back in and change it. That's the other reason I need that APS username, is to tell one child, so if we have 2 Joe Smiths, I know which is which, one from the other, and I can also see if you do multiple entries when the last entry was. If you put in elective choices, one on Monday, one on Tuesday, one on Wednesday, one on Thursday, and then one on Friday, I'm taking the one on Friday, and I'm deleting all the rest. Whatever the last choice is, that's what you're going with. Thank you all so much for your time, for coming here on Sunday. Email me, really truly, after I answer the questions that are posted. Email me, please be patient for the reply. Thank you all so much.